very good morning to each one of you. Our request here who are in the conference room to kindly mute your mics, and anyone only has to talk because it's very sensitive and it will be only blaring outside. So request only the concerned speaker need to speak on. So we welcome each one of you for this the award function of the AccelATHON version 2.0. It was a great success, and I want to stream the light from Manas, chairperson, and Richa, and the mentor, Dr. Ravinder sir also. So I request our president to kindly start the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Very good morning, team Young BCIC, Manas, Richa, Prithvi, and dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's been a great occasion today to congratulate and recognize the winners of the recent AccelATHON, which was a thumping success. And we got overwhelming participation. And I'm very happy that many kind of breakthroughs, innovations, ideas have cropped up in the recent event. And Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce is very proud to have hosted this event. And I thank all the supporters for making this event a very grand success. Because this event has come at the right time when India is just reviving after the pandemic. And a lot of positive euphoria set in. And these kind of breakthroughs, I think as young entrepreneurs, young inventors, young innovators, I think this is very important for this nation. And what you think that is a silly idea could be a breakthrough. I recollect how this wafer cones were invented. I'm told a beggar was walking on the streets of America and he saw a huge conference going on. And he asked the audience what it is. The topic of discussion was how to disperse the ice cream cups after usage. Then out of sheer hunger, he said, why don't you eat it? That's how the wafer cones got invented. So what we look silly, and in fact, creativity happens when you have an open mind. And at open mind condition, I think the knowledge is free. Therefore, it's very important that having an open mind all the time is very important. And I recollect Swami Sugopadananda. In fact, I mentioned the last time also. Once again, I'm telling. He said an experiencer should experience an experience without an experiencer, he said. What it means is, once you go to watch a movie, you are the experiencer. The movie is the experience. Before watching the movie, somebody has told you the movie is useless, already you lost the experience. Therefore, once you have an open mind, you really enjoy the movie. So that's what actually happens in innovations, creativity. I think you have to take out the complete frills out of you. And how down to earth you become, the more ideas come. And it could be breakthrough ideas. I recollect, in fact, when I was in the Google campus recently, I saw a lot of youngsters, sitting under a tree top and chatting very happily in very casual dresses, in slippers. And that is where the creativity happens. You try to put yourself in a formalized way, you try to put so much of constraints, then there is no creativity. Therefore, your ideas were very important. And I'm told, in fact, I listened to several of these ideas in the last event. And I was amazed at the kind of these ideas, especially in the light of the digital transformation. I think these are very important. Today, they're all connected devices, smart cities, and connected machines, so on and so forth. In fact, we had a wonderful meeting with Sri Nirmala Sitharaman, the Honorable Finance Minister, a couple of days back. She addressed the members of the Bangalore Chambers. So she made a very special appeal to all of us. She has requested how we can digitalize the modern India and utilize this COVID opportunity to scale up India to the next generation. In fact, she says we can leap one generation. So that way, COVID is a great opportunity because necessity is the mother of invention. And once you are put into that kind of a difficult situation, naturally you will be swimming, even if you don't know swimming. So that is the opportunity all of us have got. And my only request to all of you is, again, look into the macro issues more clearly. Means when you look at a project, when you look at an innovation, please keep the macros very clear, how it is beneficial to the nation, to the society, and how this technology can create a breakthrough, and what kind of value add it can bring in the long term. Of course, many short-term ideas, it can be easily copied. In fact, my suggestion is we should spend time on more of creativity, innovation, which will stand the test of time. In fact, Apple is always a standing example. When Apple was invented, I think there were bomb tops, desktops, and laptops. So when Steve Jobs was asked, how did you create this product? Because we never see you talking to the customer. He said that we always look at 2 or 3 steps. Even a customer cannot imagine. Once you go to that area, I think he calls it as epiphany or the cloud busting of ideas. Then there is no competition. You are in a clear sky. You are the leader, where there is absolutely no one. And nevertheless, Apple is standing the test of time, even after several years, a decade, I would say, and there is no competition to Apple. And you are the master. Therefore, all the time, look big, think big, and believe in yourself. And you can see endless opportunities. And I always keep telling, sky is not the outer limit. There is absolutely no limit. Therefore, with these words, take much of your time, and you all come for receiving your awards. I congratulate all the winners. In fact, first of all, I congratulate all the participants. Participation itself is winning. And any kind of failure is also a reflection. I always say that failure is always a stepping stone to success. And through failures, we learn. In fact, Thomas Alva Edison, in his 984th attempt, he invented the magic lamp. So 983rd attempt, his friend asked him, "You are wasting your time." Then Alva Edison said, "All these 983 attempts, I learned how not to make the bulb." In 984th attempt, he created the magic lamp, which eliminates billions of lives. You can imagine the world without the light. Therefore, always, there is nothing called success or failure. It's always a relative term. But definitely, you need to celebrate success some point of time. Therefore, I also congratulate all the participants and wish them all the very best in the next event. And I congratulate all the winners. I think thanks for your hard work, innovation, and you have come out with these ideas at a very young age. I'm sure your parents, your teachers, your own friends, family members, all will be celebrating this. This may be a small step, but it will be a giant leap for your future. All the very best. God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President, for this wonderful, inspiring speech given to us. We take it forward from there. May I now request our Vice President, Dr. L. Ravindran, to share your thoughts, sir, on this. Over to you, sir.
Okay. I'm audible there, no?
Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, young friends. It's indeed my pleasure and privilege to be part of this August occasion. Thank you, President. I'm here. I'm not sure whether you're able to hear me. Yes.
Very much, very much.
Yeah, very inspiring talk. The first ball that comes from you is always a very easily playable ball, easily understood by all of us. Thank you very much for your innovation, enthusiasm, and all the kinds of visual ideas that you gave each one of us at a very young age. BCIC, as you know, is a stellar organization in the making. It is already a 46-year-old organization. And in the last 2 years, this young gentleman, Mr. Manas, and this young lady, Miss Richa, have stewarded the success of what we call as the young BCIC and innovation team. They have, firstly, you should give them the amount of effort that they made in terms of reaching out to 400 odd participants from 18 different states. Talks volumes of the amount of reach that they tried to avail, considering the complexities of COVID and the communication breakdown that happened during some period of time. Notwithstanding the challenge, the participation from each one of you and those who could not make it to the final round, the finalist round, I think all of you deserve a great applause for yourself. You can pat you back for that. BCIC will, from now on, try to spearhead one more initiative, as you know, trying to graduate each one of you onto the next pedestal of providing you not only the certificates and trophies and cash award that I see, but much more than that in terms of ensuring that your idea blossoms to something more productive, which becomes highly monetizable to over a period of time. So don't start counting the millions of dollars that you can possibly become in terms of an entrepreneur and then trying to make trading out of that. I think most of the ideas that I see is that it is getting traded with an objective of only lasting for a very short period of time. Try to make your company as everlasting as possible. I think that is my request. I have not much to say beyond this, and I don't want to hold back your enthusiasm in terms of receiving these awards and taking it home. Thanks to each one of you, your parents and your college mates and your principals and everybody else who stood by you in terms of making this possible. BCIC will be behind you from now on. Don't look at this as an opportunity only to receive the award. Come back to us once your ideas progress, and we'll try to provide you the necessary assistance, the funding, the nurturing, and any kind of mentoring, and also connecting you with somebody else who can possibly leapfrog you into the next bit of ambit. These are my words. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Dr. Ravinder sir, for your motivational talk to the young minds, and definitely we should be able to carry this forward. Now, ending part of the session, I hand over to Manas Gupta, who will take forward the proceedings.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to apologize on behalf of the team because we could not give entry to every one in the teams. We could restrict the team's entry to only 2 persons per team. This is because of the COVID situation, the social distancing, and etc. You can understand that if we allow everybody in the team, it's a small room. Normally, we would host such kind of events, the finals of any AccelATHON in a hall where, I mean, not with the context of COVID and where we can host a lot of people and everybody who wants to join you, the entire teams, your HODs, your mentors, etc. But this time it is not possible because of the limitation of the size of the boardroom. So I apologize for that. During at the time we give out the awards, so we can call them one by one, your remaining team members who are probably waiting outside, and get them to join you receiving the award and kind of photo op, etc. So that is one thing. What from my side, what I would like to say is that why do we need this hackathon? I mean, there is a particular purpose and goal why we chose to host this hackathon from the industry chambers point of view. One of the things that we constantly worry about and constantly try to address is the problem of the skill versus curriculum gap in the institutions, in any college, be it engineering college, be it graduation college, etc., etc. So the skills gap and the curriculum gap. So colleges teach according to a curriculum, and the industry needs skills, right? So what happens is that the gap between the curriculum and the skill are very, very wide at this moment. Technology is changing every day, and the gap is widening. And there is not too much effort from the larger section of the academia in terms of catching up with the skill requirements to augment the curriculum, to upgrade the curriculum, etc. Because in a lot of cases, it is not possible also to keep changing the curriculum in a very, very rapid pace. So there are various reasons because of which the skills gap is widening. Now, there are 2 ways to solve this problem. One is we devise a mechanism to bring in curriculum, constantly upgrade curriculum, rapidly upgrading curriculum, etc., etc. But that is very treacherous. Very treacherous on the point of view of the academicians, from the point of view of the colleges, and also very treacherous in terms of for the students. They are going to be stressed as to, okay, I joined with this curriculum and now this is already within 1 year or 2 years, it is changed. So the next batch is going to have a better curriculum, etc. So those kind of mindset come into picture. But there is another way of, so we've tried that, and we kind of faced a lot of struggles. We couldn't make too much of headway. We are doing some certain things in bits and pieces, but I mean, frankly saying, we couldn't make a lot of headway. The other way of addressing the same problem is that shaping the students' mind in a certain manner, they are equipped to handle any kind of problems that the industry throws at them when they go into active employment, right? So that's another way of addressing the same problem. Now, the hackathon, organization of hackathon, is a step towards that. It gives you the platform, it gives you problem statements, which is beyond your curriculum, which are beyond your textbooks, which challenges you to go beyond those curriculums and find out solutions on your own, learning a few new skills, and solve those problems. Now, you do it a few times along the 4 years of your engineering journey, or if you are not doing engineering, your graduation journey, if you do that for 3 years, 4 years, do it multiple times, your mindset is going to change in a way that any problem, when you go into employment, any problem that your company throws at you, or maybe you want to set up your own startup, as a startup, existing in the society, existing in the industry, and you will be able to solve them. So that's a mindset change rather than addressing the problem through the curriculum. And that is the very purpose of AccelATHON. Now, what is our goal is that we aspire to make AccelATHON over the years to become the biggest hackathon in the world, biggest hackathon in India, and then go beyond. This is a big aspiration. This is only our second year. The first year we limited AccelATHON to Karnataka only. We limited AccelATHON to digital only, digital streams only, digital solutions only. This year we opened it up to all the streams. We opened it up to all the colleges in India, so pan-India. And we are actively thinking of opening it up to international participants. We go step by step as to promote AccelATHON to become a very, very prominent hackathon in the world. And it should serve the purpose, give a platform for students to solve challenges in the society in the process, developing a problem-solving mindset. So that remains the purpose. So that's my take on why we do it, why we should do it better and bigger every year. Thank you and congratulations to all the teams. Very soon we'll get into the awards. Oops, sorry. So we'll just get into the awards ceremony. Before that, Richard would like to say a couple of words.
No, I'm good. I'll take a big. I wouldn't want to take too much of time.
Yeah. If anybody has questions.
Maybe, anybody if has questions. So we have, out of the 4 jury, you people have been through the entire presentation. We have 2 of them here, Mr. Soumitra and Mr. Sandeep. Thanks for making time coming here. And then Gauri and Biswajit could not make it. We also had Vinod from ANZ Bank, who did the preliminary screening of all the presentations and the submissions that we got for the AccelATHON 2.0. Also, he could not make it physically here, but of course, we thank them. Maybe something from 2 of you, if you are here, any perspective on jury, that how did you people find the entire AccelATHON 2.0? How was your experience? So that they feel good about it or they improve in the next competition.
Thank you, jury panel. Sorry, my sincere
President is there.
I didn't recognize the president. Thank you. I also recognize the presence of our Vice President, Dr. Ravindran. Thank you so much.
On his behalf. On your behalf,
I think it's been amazing stuff. I think, first of all, it requires.
you could come over here, sir.
Sandeep, you can come. So we can address the larger, all of them here and there.
Yeah. No, I think it requires a lot of courage to
even make an attempt, and you have not only made an attempt, but cross the first level, second level, and come to this particular point where you're really looking at the award. So I would say that this is the start of your journey, right? This is a fantastic platform that you need to actually leverage. If you're not going to leverage and just becomes an award, then you have lost everything that you have gained actually. So this basically puts you out of the comfort zone, because that's the first thing that the industry requires, that you need to be coming out of your comfort zone, right? And that gives you a particular ability to do anything and everything that the company wants or industry wants. Many of you will get an entrepreneur courage only through this route, because that's the first step. If you want to do something, actually do it yourself, make your hand dirty, and then get into the entrepreneur journey. So I think all this is given you this particular stuff. I would say keep in touch, have some mentors, right? Look at some mentors so that your ideas are really taken forward. It doesn't become a project that you want to put it into the shelves and cupboards and keep it there, but really take it forward. There's still a lot of room to improve, right? It's just the starting point, but there's a lot of room to improve. Take those inputs, take those ideas, see the market. Sometimes actually the technology that you build up, market is not ready, or market, you need to make the market ready, right? It's the Apple's concept that they don't actually wait for the market, they create the market for their products. So sometimes you need to be actually proactive in terms of creating that product. So take those ideas, take those particular inputs, work on that particular thing, and continue the journey on that particular stuff. You might actually come out with a different track. Again, don't be so, I'll say that attached to your particular problem statement that you keep yourself very much hanged into, right? There's a story that basically for a monkey, right? It has a pot actually, and there's groundnuts into that. And the monkey puts the hand into this particular groundnut and catches the groundnut. Now it's in two particular situations, because it's mist that is created. He might actually not lose the groundnut. He doesn't want to lose the groundnut that he already has. And second, he can't pull out his mist, because unless he leaves the groundnut, he can't actually put it. So don't make so much attachment to your particular stuff, because that will actually again kill the creativity, kill the innovation. But flexible enough actually that you can actually mold it and adopt it to the industry. So best of wishes, do great stuff, and we are all there. Any of us you can reach out to and take a journey forward. Thank you very much.
First, a bit of perspective from my end on what I gained, right? So I've been in the industry for 20 plus years now, right? So day in and day out, we have our own work, own schedule deep into the product, right? So sometimes we might lose the focus on creativity because something has to go out in the market. There is a pressure of performing in terms of giving out products, etc., right? So when I meet in a forum like this, right, and get to know about ideas which varies from farming to water conservation to doing something for the physically challenged people, right? It opens up mind, all of us, right? So we get a new perspective. So that's my insight and the things that I gain out of this whole exercise and being part of it, right? Secondly, I think it's a wonderful opportunity. 20 years back, when probably we passed out or we were in the college, right? We did not have such a forum to get any attention, right? Our projects were in a file, right? Catching dust somewhere, right? And neither we had this exposure to know what's right, what is wrong, what would go out and meet the industry. You are very fortunate, I would say, that we are in an era where you have guidance, you have ability to interact with people in the industry, a forum like BCIC, right, who is ready to support you, right? So I think a lot of opportunities for you. The other thing that I find is also in the past, we always look towards the West, right? We look towards the countries in the West and say they are creating things and we are following, right? The gravity, as you see, is slowly shifting towards, very fast shifting towards what India does today, right? And the challenges here are much more than the challenges in the West. And hence the creativity that comes out of here is much more important and much more scalable, and that's happening here than what's happening there, right? So I think Sandeep and others spoke about various aspects, right? Take benefit of this. Do not stick to your curriculum, your studies alone. I think studies are very important because you need to get that knowledge, but have that attachment with the industry. You are, I think, very early in the stage to gain a lot, right? And who knows, I mean, the floodgates of things will open and you will gain a lot from it, right? I'll not take much of the time, right? There is a lot more interesting things ahead for you. All the best to all of you.
Okay, so introduce them. They're very senior people from the industry. We haven't introduced, sorry. So Sandeep is the Chief Operating Officer of Happiest Minds Technologies. And he's also the head of digital business for them. Soumitra is a site engineering leader at Akamai Technologies. He works with some fantastic technologies on the OTT space.
Yes,
Right?
OTT and video streaming and data engineering.
Absolutely. So, all right. Now, I would like to call out the contribution of a particular team from New Horizon College, without whom this AccelAthon would not have been possible. So, Ranjan, Srinidhi, Vignesh, and Devika. Please identify yourself. Ranjan is the head of placement at New Horizon College. Devika, Srinidhi, Vignesh, they are fourth year students, or passed out students?
Third year.
Third year students. Okay, sorry.
Call them here, no?
Come.
Can we give them the
We can. Yeah, come.
Come.
Come, guys. So the achievement we spoke about, the 400 odd participants, more than 400 participants, when we went out publicizing AccelAthon, getting participation from 18 different states was all possible because of this team. Mountains, day in and day out, working with the participants, working with the contestants, working through the administration of all the stages of AccelAthon. The entire event was possible because of this team. So
we had around a total of 50 volunteers from New Horizon College of Engineering, starting from the March preparation till now. So some of them we needed for the next AccelAthon as well. And these were the team leaders. So there are other 47 as well. Back the screen and we thank them as well. So we'll just, can I request Dr. Ravindran to...
Before sir in fact
Yes,
comes, I
please.
would want to tell something because there's always a plane flying, but you always have a pilot and a co-pilot. This was a pilot and that was a co-pilot. Like that. You were just a crew member. You were actually serving the place.
So can I request you?
Please, sir.
That's for Srinidhi.
Srinidhi.
Mr. Miss.
Mr. Srinidhi. That's Devika.
Thank you.
And this is Vignesh.
Thank you very much. For him, nothing?
Oh, I am there.
He is.
He already received
You're going
it.
to have to.
He already
Yes.
got it.
We actually went to New Horizon to present his
Yes.
certificate.
Nice. Thank
All
you.
right, so we go over to the awards distribution. So you have to come here again? Yes. So all of us, yourself and jury members, please.
Prithvi, please join.
Ranjan, come. All right, so
All right, so we start with the second runner-up. There is no guesses here. Anyways, you all are aware of what your positions are. The second runner-up, first team is Navomesh from New Horizon College of Engineering. Please come.
come guys. So all of your team members are here?
Please come.
Huh?
So they receive a cash prize of 10,000 rupees.
Okay, so this is for,
read out the next.
yeah, so
The names are Bhargav Dayal, Ayush Bansal. I'll give it, don't worry. Bharatdeep Hazarika. Ananya Sundar. Abhishek.
Vedant. Vedant.
Vedant.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, thank you. So who is Bhargav?
So he's not here.
Tell her, maybe I'll tell you next week. Bharatdeep. Bharatdeep. All the best to you. Ayush.
yes, sir.
Sir. Anybody else who is missing? Yourself? Abhishek. Abhishek Vedant.
And this is the all important thing.
Yes. Check the contents.
So you can give the rest of the certificates to your.
In absentia.
And that's an angel fund, not a fund for celebration, but angel fund.
Seed capital, this should become $10,000 US next year. It should grow.
Thank you, sir. Planted.
Congratulations.
All right, so the next second runner-up is a mix of 3 colleges. We have New Horizon College of Engineering, PES University, and Christ deemed to be University. It was fabulous that we saw 3 colleges coming together for one innovation. The team name is Smash N. Come in.
All right. Please. So now you.
Do we have your other members also? Okay, good.
Come.
Please, yeah. So the team members were Saloni Veliappa, Haraj Karanwal, Ayush Manish, Nalin Dang, and Yajat Vinod Vishwakarma.
Identify yourself.
Congrats.
Yes, Yajat.
Yajat Vinod.
Yes, he's the team lead.
Thank you, sir. Nalin Dan. Harsh. Any of your team members?
No.
Record kar.
Rupa and Sham. Where is the Ram?
Is it possible for you to pass on this to your other team members?
Yeah.
Because they're from other colleges.
And this is the all important thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so the next, this one, yeah.
This one?
The next third position goes to VSM Somashekar Art Kotivale Institute of Technology, based in Nipani, Karnataka. Thank you to the HOD also for coming all the way to Bangalore. Can we have other team members as well? So they have come all the way from Nipani.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
Sham.
The team members can join in.
Go down.
Why don't some of you go that
Some
side?
of you come this side.
Come there so that you take a good picture. Yeah.
Stay in. So who is Bilal?
Yes.
Bilal. This will be given by our Sham. Mr. Sham Prasad is our deputy company secretary. Faizan Abdul Manan Sheikh. Okay. Sorry, he hold it like this. Okay. I'll give it to the next person also. We have one more to do. Sakshul Sanjay Srikhand. Sakshi. Sorry. Madam, you come. Rupa. Miss Rupa is our deputy secretary.
She's the women power of BCIC,
Yes.
along with Rishita.
Next is Ryan
Thank you.
Muhammad
Yes, it's,
Satari.
Govindran, sir.
Madam, you have to give this again.
Come.
This I take it home, no?
Only if you're doing a startup.
Sure, this is to all of you.
Also, we thank to the HOD for coming all the way. Thank you, sir. Keep guiding them.
Thank you, sir.
And any support that you need from Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce, please reach out to any of us. We are always there to help the academy and the students.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so those were the three second runner-up prizes carrying cash reward of rupees 10,000 each. We go to the first runner-up. The first team is Team Shadow from MBJ College of Engineering. Scooty.
This time you have to give.
Oh, sir, Ranjan is there.
You are here now, Baba. You are here. Both of you should come.
Ranjan ji, आइए. Yeah. Okay, great. Check.
Team? Oh, come. You read out the name, sir? Yeah. Congrats.
So the first runner-up, Shadow, Scooty Kanu is there? Yeah. Rajat Kumar?
He's not here.
He's not here. And Akhil Bobby?
Yeah, that's
yourself. So they're from the
J
College of Engineering, Bangalore. What did you do?
We made an app
Yes.
called Xenia. So it's basically like a community app. That was our focus. So the thing is, it's like a missing piece to the puzzle of social media apps, where we break down the interaction between apartment members, basically between like sharing and asking. So anyone is free to share, like a party, or you have an extra cable lying at home, you can just like put it out there. Like if you want an HDMI cable to watch a movie, you can just put a request over there. It's a beautiful interface where interaction between members is the focus.
It also extends to changing facilities between NGOs and.
Yeah, we have added the feature to communicate with NGOs also.
Does not Common Flow use this?
Which one?
Have you tried this? Common Flow.
I mean, there are apps like Apna Complex, Common Flow, but it's too broad. Like, for example, there's apps like Apna Complex and MyGate. So Apna Complex has the features of MyGate, but people want that separated feature. Because if you put everything together, it's a big mess. So this is our main focus, and this is our only focus.
What do you intend doing after this? With the same thought?
So in this, we have added features to communicate with NGOs, where if you want to donate, so there'll be like, we have made a separate app for NGOs itself.
Have you made this app only for the purpose of BCIC?
No. It's we still have to perfect the backend. We have used Firebase for our backend, but it's not good enough. It's very rigid. So we are trying to go to AWS and just make it more better for more customers to accommodate them. But yeah, we're still working on it.
How do you take investors on board like me? All of us are standing behind you.
Well, if you want to know more, I'm sure to just
You should use this opportunity.
right. Yeah. So what we plan to start with apartments. Like for example, we all live in apartments, like all of our team members. So we know the struggle that I don't know who my neighbor is. I don't know who the people in my floor is. I just know they exist, but I have no communication.
Okay.
So this is like a bridge to like break that thing.
Very nice.
Yeah. So, and if this works out well, we plan to go to schools as well, where like if you want some notes, textbooks, you can like just reach out through this app, and if there's anyone out there who has what you need, you can put it out there.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful, right?
Yes.
Continue.
So that's for Akhil. So that's a present here, so you can give it to him. Thanks. So the first runner-up carries a cash reward of 20,000 rupees. This is.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The next first runner-up is Team Codeco from CMR Institute of Technology. Vaishnavi Deepak, Arpan Abhishek, Veera Krishna, Pratik Mukesh. Any more of the team members waiting out? No. Okay.
Who this time?
Yeah, this, yours.
Vaishnavi.
All right.
So first, this one. There's a lot of things.
Yes.
I can help you.
Yeah.
Go.
And the real one. That's a fake one.
Yashwant.
Yashwant. Congratulations.
Nandita, please join us. Yeah.
Come, Nanita.
You have anything to give? Go.
Pratik. Yeah.
Nandita is our manager.
Yes.
In terms of operations of the chamber.
Meera.
Meera. Come.
Nandita.
Give it. Yeah, they go.
Arpan is there?
Arpan is
Arpan
You can say. Vaishnavi.
Thanks to the mentors also for coming here. Keep motivating them. So what was your app now that Ravindra sir started? What was your innovation?
So in India right now we're facing a lot of problems with respect to the farmer suicides. So we try to get in deep into it, and we realize that crop failures is not the only reason behind this. One of the major reasons behind this is borewell failures, which is not coming into limelight. What happens most of the times is the farmer, we're using traditional methods in the villages. Farmers are using coconuts and all. They walk on the ground and they try to identify if there's water down there based on the movement of the coconut. So what happens is when they start digging the borewells, they end up finding no water at all. Many a times this ends up in failing. Okay, and these borewells are really deep. Some of them goes so deep that they are deeper than the 30 feet skyscraper in a city like this. This ends up costing more than 3 to 4 lakh to the farmer, which ends up getting a burden on him. So we tried taking data from all across the government agency that we had. And of course, now we're in contact with ISRO. Also, we're in contact with the Central Groundwater Board of India. And we compiled all the data that is currently available. For the sample size, we also are in touch with IIT Gandhinagar, collected all the data that is private. So we've taken Chikmagalur as a open for the trial round.
Sample.
Yeah, for the sample data, and we actually compiled all the data, and we used some machine learning algorithms on this to actually predict the groundwater availability at the exact pinpoint location. So this was our idea, and we hope to now that we're in touch with ISRO, we are hoping to take more data and make this a reality for the farmers in the near future.
Very good.
Very topical. Very nice.
Any time that you need our support and help, we are always there.
Most of all, we would like to thank our mentor,
Yes.
teacher sir. So we've been constant with him for all the things that has happened, and we've been getting a constant support from the college also.
Right.
So we'll be hoping that we keep participating in such competitions, and these grants would only motivate us to do better.
Absolutely.
Very well.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you. All right, so the most awaited one, the winner for
Come, sir.
AccelAthon 2.0.
Come, Sandeep.
Amit Shah.
They are the ones who are done all the
So the team DeadSet from Ramaya Institute of Technology. A big round of applause for them. This carries a cash reward of rupees 30,000. We have Satvik, Mumtaz, Anantraj, and Kholi Sai Venu from the team.
Madam, can I also request one person
Yes,
to
sir.
join?
Yes, sir.
A special person has come from MS Ramaya College.
Yeah.
Please come, Aditya. Aditya, I must tell you, can you guess his age? Come, from the height I can't. Come. Can you guess his age?
He has to move his mask first.
No. Stand there. Can you guess his age? 32. Very close. How about you? Anyone else?
32 minus 24.
24.
22.
Why did you remove the mask?
22, sir.
22. Anybody else?
19.
Huh?
19 is
Who got 19? You're his classmate, I think. 19 years. Hey, sir.
Well, yes, bonus.
He has come from United Kingdom, University of Purdue, and during the COVID, I think the university did not want him to be staying there, and he was forcibly shut out and sent back to India. Now the flights don't operate to UK. USA. I'm sorry, USA. Now, for the last 6 months, he was moving around in the city of Bangalore, looking out for an internship opportunity. And then everybody felt that he was too overqualified. That's a problem in our country. So then somehow he landed onto my mailbox, and then I invited him. And you know what is the kind of wonders he did in the last 90 days? 80 days to be precise. And he's flying back very soon. We gave him a work to understand how Karnataka stands against the rest of the states in the country in terms of ease of doing business. That's exactly the time when the ease of doing business ranking came out, and Karnataka was, double-digit numbers, pretty close to the bottom. And he did a beautiful study. And at this age, he could meet the minister, he could meet the IAS officers, right? All of us really struggled hard to meet them. He could do all that and then bring out a report in a very crisp form as to how Karnataka can shore up its rankings. He has also given many other suggestions besides this. Then he wrote a report which was presented to the Honorable Union Finance Minister day before yesterday, which is called Supplemental Report to the Atmanirbhar Package. And he's spoken about how Lord Sri Rama, you're not a BJP man. Okay. He has just started voting now anyway. So, how Lord Sri Rama traveled the whole of the country. What else? Sri Shankaracharya, where all he traveled. And what is the kind of changes that India should undertake in terms of 3 different aspects? One was the GST mechanization and then ensuring that it's more easily understood by people. Second was travel and tourism industry across the path that Lord Sri Rama and Shankaracharya traveled, and how is it that it can become a great future in terms of providing service delivery and then improvement in warehouses, manufacturing, and whatever else, how the infrastructure should be built up. And the third one was obviously, the important aspect that is infrastructure spending. Infrastructure spending. And this has been well liked by the Union Finance Minister. So he's a role model by himself, 19 or 22 years, I don't want to dispute that. But whatever it is, he did a tremendous amount of work for BCIC. And he is the proud owner of MS Ramaya College.
very nice.
His parents, his grandfather started MS Ramaya. You would not have seen him. I'm introducing him. Okay.
That's nice.
So it was a surprise that I kept in my pocket. He is here. We are
Very nice.
able to MS Ramaya, not only for the education aspect, but many other things that they have done. Thank you very much. So you should be standing along with them.
Or was it there the people who actually
Okay, you stand there. You stand there.
Please come, sir.
So there is no proud moment for you than this.
Colleague Salvino
Is not.
is not here. You can keep on his behalf. Anant is not here. Mumtaj, congratulations. And Sadiq. Yeah.
What was your innovation?
Okay, so the primary problem statement was for the visually impaired. We all know that the physically handicapped or the visually impaired, they cannot write that. Some who cannot write exams on their own, be it any exam, degree exam, college level exams. They need to carry a physical scribe with them, a person who can write exams for them. And there'll be many constraints on that. He shouldn't be more handled them, more intelligent or more graduated from them. Those. And at last moment, you never know if we can, if they're available or not. So what we decided was this is like really important, and plus it was, we had to reduce the burden on those visually impaired people as well. So what we did was we created a complete virtual voice assistant. But might sound like something that's already there out there, but what we did was we tailored it to the visually impaired I mean, sometimes when you're writing an answer to a question, the more common or the more conventional thing would be like, read out a question for me, read out the particular answer that I've written, what's the time, mark my questions for review in the future. We went deeper into it. We thought while you're writing the answer, there must be a particular formatting type. When you're going, okay, just write this out point wise. This should be a paragraph. And when you're writing a line, okay, at this point I've written something, correct me, read out this particular line for me, cut it down to this word, just stop it out there. So we have tailored it completely for the visually impaired, and everything is voice assisted. And to add on to that, we thought like sometimes if there is something kind of reeval case, then that is converted to Braille, and you can use a Braille printer to print it out. So that is already within the application itself. So yeah, that is pretty much the application.
Thank you very much. Aditya, you want to say anything?
First thing is, congratulations to you guys. It's incredible. Made the institution very, very proud, I can tell you honestly. And a massive thank you to Ravindran sir for giving me the opportunity to work for BCIC. Studying in Purdue, learning about economics and public policy, I've always been interested in solving macroeconomic problems and problems that the country faces today. But when I came over here and I started working for Dr. Ravindran, I understood that the members of BCIC represented the exact cross-section of the Indian industry, and in particular the Bangalore industry. So if there was any problem being faced by the economy, you'd hear it firsthand from the industry itself. I remember when talking about the barriers to innovation, we had members from the IT industry, real estate industry, manufacturing, healthcare, every single industry was present there. And their concerns, their comments, their expressions were relevant to today's scenario. They were relevant to the ground reality. And while making my presentation, while making my project, it helped me actually develop a project or a report which was in tune with what was actually happening today. There's no point in me or anyone writing any data where it kind of looks for a utopian result. Today, with Dr. Ravindran's support, I've been able to learn what the Indian or the Bangalore industry requires in terms of economic reforms, in terms of economic feasibilities. And I thank him very, very much for the support throughout this time. Thank you, sir.
And one more thing I would like to add on, and when I say this, I speak on behalf of all the participants. Thank you so much, BCIC, for this wonderful platform, for this, giving us an opportunity to basically boost our confidence, going ahead with the creativity. Thank you so much.
These are the small souvenirs for our jury.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Please.
Oh, thank you. Keeping the scenario of work from home, utility products are better than the mementos.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I would like to close by saying a huge thanks to Richa herself.
Yes.
Because AccelATHON is Richa's event. So she is the leader. She was on the forefront of everything that was happening in AccelATHON. She led the entire team. She led the entire initiative. Went into grand success. So what we need from all of you present here is that, as we mentioned, that we aspire to make AccelATHON one of the biggest or the biggest in India in the next few years, and make it international as well. What we need from you is, in terms of support, is that you become the voice and you become the ambassadors of AccelATHON. Talk about AccelATHON and the platform, the learning opportunities, the innovation that are coming in, the entire ecosystem, BCIC as an industry chamber promoting it. So it opens a lot of doors for you when you come up with innovations, etc. So become the ambassador of true ambassadors of AccelATHON, and talk to your peers, talk to your juniors, so that we get more and more participation from your colleges from the years to come. So as we get more participation, as we get more brilliant minds into the platform, the quality of AccelATHON is going to get higher and higher, and that is going to get, as the quality gets higher, it is going to be easy for us to promote it better, wider, internationally as well. All right, so thank you. Thanks, everyone, each one of you coming today. It's great seeing you face to face. There's a little bit of
Sorry, finish and then after that.
camera for us finished. All right, okay, fine, I'm finished. Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So snacks is waiting for you a little while later. That is the communication. Yeah, I didn't want to say, but then you're most welcome. Thank you very much for coming on a Wednesday morning. And thanks especially the jury members holding super chief positions in your company. For those who would not spell out your ideas, would you like to speak anything for about 2
please.
minutes? I don't want you to go back with the feeling of regret that you missed spelling out what you wanted to, because you never know whatever is 10,000 rupees is going to go in terms of numbers on the right hand side, right?
More zeros on the right hand side.
Yeah.
So if you're not very hungry,
So the team Navamesh, Smash and
permit
Crazy.
them. Anybody else who want to speak? Yeah, please. Let us give an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. Yes.
So good afternoon, everyone. Our problem statement was based on healthcare, and we all know that healthcare, when it comes to app, you can see that hospitals management system and everything is there. But we decided on hardware, so it was quite risky for us, to confirm our accuracy. What we did was we made an all-in-one system for body temperature, lung capacity, SpO2 level, and heart rate. And what our motivation was that the healthcare market is flooded with individual devices like spirometer, oximeters. So we decided on making an all-in-one system that you can carry anywhere. It's a portable device. And we got really good response from our jurors. Thank you, sir, because they suggested that there is a device in the market already. And we did learn. We actually didn't know. We thought that the market was free for us. But once we got to know, we made our advancements. And we have included more features, even non-invasive ways where we don't need blood work. We can get the results simply by putting it on our fingers. And we have by critically acclaimed by even the Ministry of Electronics. So right now we are on a path to make a startup from our product itself. And thank you to our viewers for guiding us even in this competition.
Passion.
So my name is Rajat and I represent Smash and a team of mine which we are from New Horizon College, and the app that we built is called Rentify. And what it does basically is it's a platform where you can sell, you can rent the services and assets. So for instance, I have a book and the book is a bestseller, and I finished reading the book and it's just lying in my shelf now. So now I have two options here. Either I sell it or I give it to someone for free, right? So what we planned to do was there was no app in the market yet where you could rent out this book and make money out of it, plus keep the ownership of the book. So we built this app and and to extend the functionality, to extend the features that we provide, we also added the entire freelance. We wanted to target the freelance market, which is again not very well tapped in India. So we added the entire services thing where, say, suppose you're a tattoo artist and you want there's like a party happening, a birthday party, a children's birthday party, where you want to go and perform do the tattoos. So the app helps you find such parties, find such places, and not just that. There is different categories, and that was the main core idea of this entire app, where so you can go and rent out your services or assets and keep the ownership of the product which you have. So thank you.
Crazy engineers.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Faizan. We built up a hardware design of a robot. The problem statement was waste management, because it is a big issue in our country blockages in the sewer lines, all of that stuff. It is a big issue. And currently only one robot is there in effect. So we designed a robot that would go inside the pipeline and would cleanse it in the lateral section. Because that is the biggest challenge. There's a lot of sludge, and going inside there, people die doing that stuff. And also it's a huge risk to life. Plus the proper PP is not given to the people who are working about it. It is also a caste-based problem in a way, and to resolve that, we have designed a robot, and we are currently into the developing phase of it. It has not yet been completed, and there are a lot of parameters that we have to consider still. But it is basically a circular section with an outer frame which has actuating legs, means they can extend and contract back in. So that is what gives it the movability inside the pipes for it to move in. So that is all I would like to say on that note. But thank you a lot, Manas sir and Ms. Richa. They have really coordinated with us, trying to help us out to reach here, and for giving us this opportunity. Thank you a lot.
Sure. Okay. You can go there. Thank you for giving this opportunity for students. Basically, I'm a faculty. I come from an electronics background, then I moved on to wireless communication, and then to a PhD in computer science. But I see thousands of students, and there's so much of knowledge in our children who pass out of final year engineering and have a lot of projects. But what technical students lack is this. We do not know how to sell our product. That is something which I personally feel in my years of thing, we do not know how to sell our products. And that is I think so. When my students who went abroad and studied, they said their final project is always linked with an industry. And it's always sellable. You do a project which will be sold in the market, or which comes out as a startup always. So such thing is actually lacking in our country is what I personally think. And there are thousands of innovative projects which coming up from every department. And even our colleges lack connection with industries also. That is also one thing which I see. I think so we should also see into that level of connecting at least every final year projects which come out, because those students will be constantly pulled for semester further. They're able to connect in that way. And this thing is actually helpful in that way, because my students every student over here I see, they're talking about a business model, which is not actually linked to their subject line at all. But that is what industry wants, right? We need to sell this. Then I think India will have that lot of business potential, because all our brains are going wasted. As on a sir telling, our project reports was lying in as a report book somewhere in one corner. And there are thousands of project reports like that from many different brains, which lies in some corner, which is not coming out at all. I've seen 10 years back projects are coming out of startups in foreign countries, and which is already our children have already done it. So I think this was a very good opportunity for learning, but we should also think of how industries and colleges can have a center where always the projects are being tested, or things like business models are also being taught. It's not a part of curriculum at all. So if that is coming up with startups and entrepreneurship, with this technology also will come up. Is what I personally want
to
say.
To add in the similar thought that we also had in the young BCIC team, and a team with Vikram, Soumitra also been there, Girish. We actually, and it was Manas' idea, that what you mentioned, all the projects that the student take up in those 4 years actually lie somewhere in the library or are gone the drain once they move out. So we are trying to pull out those innovation, and we have already started the work. So we thought that we will take the tier 2 city or the cluster to start with, because we believe that Bangalore already has a lot of resource, and the industry is willing to support the institutions as well. So we started with the Mysore region, taking out the innovations from various colleges, thanks to SJCE, which is the nodal point of contact for our initiative of this innovations coming out. And exactly is that we are doing is taking out the innovation from the institutions, screening them, mentoring them, and then connecting them to the investors or the potential investors, and see that anything that Manas, because the next events we have.
I'll spell out. I had this.
Yeah.
You can add it up.
We're already doing
add it up
it,
further. Mr. Soumitra did make a mention. Mr. Soumitra and Mr. Sandeep. They are the jury panel members, along with
Gauri Shankar and Viswajit.
Gauri and Viswajit. Okay. So thank you first of all to each one of you. And before I answer this question, I should ask you a question. As to how difficult was it in terms of ranking, rating these people? I know that you spend time on a Sunday afternoon.
Saturday and Sunday.
Very difficult. So especially in today's times, when you are glued to the screen most times. Thank you very much. But how difficult was it? Number one. Second is, do you have a feeling of regret that somebody you could not accommodate just because of some particular feature or factor or some question that they could not possibly answer you? Otherwise, they would have possibly come up in the best of the lot. That is one. And third is your own thoughts on how to take this forward. After you finish, I will spell out our plans. Sure. And then Ms. Rupa is here, our Deputy Secretary. She will also spell out the extent of committees that we have. What is the next game plan? And whatever is remaining, over to the chairman.
Yes.
So you now.
So, I would not say it was very easy to select, right? Some of the ideas stood out for sure. But some of the ideas, I would say we could have accommodated more. But we looked at, many times it was some of the things that was done more in the context of probably we saw in the context of this hackathon and not really thinking beyond, right? And that came out really well when people presented and questions that we asked them, right? So I think overall, I would say we could have accommodated more, but the students who more focused on taking this forward and really thought through, right? And made an attempt and was diligent enough, right? So I think that's the way they stood out, right? But I'm sure, so the next steps are, right, that often people say that some ideas are taken already, right? I would think like Yahoo chat used to be there several years back. WhatsApp came back and made a difference, right? So, and I don't see how, why new ideas cannot be made, even if something is there already. For example, the Rentify app, you already have Quicker to WhatsApp groups and other things to sell, right? But you can make a difference. So I think those are the angles that we saw. Overall, I think the quality of ideas, I would say, is much better than what we saw previous years. I think it is progressively making a difference, right? In the past, it was like, okay, connect to LEDs, we are able to make this board up and running was a great thing, right? That was the level that we saw. But this year, it was more tuned towards market. People have done some research on what's available, what's the practical use. So that was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sudha.
Just to add, I think Sumitra has covered it. So the basic difference between the whole lot and this group here was the thinking of the idea to make it as an implementable idea, right? A lot of projects were still like my college project. I was wanting to demonstrate. It's good. Technology was good and stuff like that, but not the thought about that if I want to really take it to the market, have I done enough study? Now, if you look at one of the particular projects actually where they went to the government of India, they went to the ISRO, they went to the IIT, collected the data, right? And that is what we gave the weightage into, because otherwise you can do it into your lab and then create any wonders actually. So it's not about that. So I think that was the differentiation. Of course, there were some people who put it. There was especially one Kashmiri folks, two Kashmiri guys who had created an IoT for the precision farming in terms of actually their, again, they had done a wonderful job. The only thing I would say that they missed is thinking a little bit beyond in terms of implementing on a large farm. You can do it in a small, narrow farm of a certain size, but if you want to really scale it and stuff like that, they're not thought through. And that's the only probable reason I thought they were out of it. But the idea was good. They had very limited resources, constrained. They were in Srinagar right now. Both of them had gone back to their hometown, and they were basically trying to do within that limited stuff, try to project and come to BCIC. So I think there was certain of this particular stuff there, but I think you guys really stood out. So it was difficult, definitely. The way forward is basically to take it, like I said, a step forward, work on that. Don't limit it with the ideas, collect more ideas. Don't work on the technology. I think one of the guys who stood there talked about that. I'll go and change the technology stack. I think that's a later stage, right? That should not be the jumping point for you right now in terms of changing the technology. Are you covered everything that the problem Have you understood the problem? Have you narrowed down that particular problem? Have you narrowed down the market? Have you narrowed down where it's going to be positioned? If you have not done that, then technology is useless, right? It doesn't give any particular edge. So work on those particular aspects and then take the best of the technology that can actually help solve the problem. Like Soumitra said, right? A simple WhatsApp. It's basically first the need. The problem with the SMS and the other stuff was actually it was still cumbersome, right? Even my mother used to not do an SMS. Actually, my mother does a WhatsApp now. Actually, right? That's a big change. Actually, they don't have to actually worry about it. They can do the WhatsApp. But SMS, where we felt it's a very simple stuff of texting, even people was not able to do it. So that the simplicity, the particular nature, what the customer would like, anticipating what their requirements would be, and then giving them a product or technology always goes a long way actually. And that simplicity, I think we need. It's not about complexity. Get 100 features and your product will be best. It will never happen that way actually. So simplicity is, I think, the key and the business need. I think it should.
Thank you, Sandeep. Now you, sir.
All right, so absolutely agree to all the points. I mean, commercial viability is a big thing. Your input cost to what is the price point you are going to sell your product. So that thought right at the beginning when you are starting on your product development journey is very, very important. The commercial mindset is very, very important. When that is coupled with the technology that you are using, then it creates a perfect blend, then it creates a commercially viable model. So from BCIC, what the channels that we can open up. So during the awards presentation, the virtual session you have heard from the Amrita TBI person speaking about Amrita TBI's opportunity for the innovators to come into their TBI technology business incubator. So that they are DST funded, Department of Science and Technology. They are DST funded. They have a stringent criteria for getting into their TBIs, but the facilities, once you get in, the facilities are awesome. They will really guide you. They will really give you access to the labs. You get a good grant from them, etc. So a monthly stipend, something like that. So there's a lot of things. Whichever teams are interested, you can touch base with us, and we will connect you to them. That is one. Another TBI, Technology Business Incubator, is in our. We are working with them now. Is Derby Incubator. They are also funded by Department of Science and Technology. They are Dayanand Sagar's incubator, Dayanand Sagar University. So that's another channel that you can use. We can connect you to them as well. So these are two. The one Richa was mentioning is that we are running our own initiative. So what we are doing is that we are doing a pilot with the Mysore cluster with SJC as the nodal agency. Soumitra is involved in that. So what we are doing is that we've told the nodal agency, you can get 10 colleges. There are 10 colleges in that particular area, that particular cluster. So we got a online session with the representatives of those 10 colleges. We asked them that from the projects of your students, okay, in the next, whatever they have done in the last 2 years, okay, bring them in. College projects, hackathons, whatever they have done, bring the best in from each of your colleges, right? So you do your filtration from the innovations from the last 2 years from your colleges, bring them in. So we have got them in, we have passed that stage, we have gone through the evaluation, we have selected from those, all the couple of hundred innovations that were initially submitted, we nailed out to 6 of them. So now we are going to have another session with these 6 teams. And what we are going to do is that whichever teams are interested and whichever teams we feel that are commercially viable can be taken to the next level, we'll open up various channels for them, either the Derby or the Amrita TBIs, they are possible channels, or we can also take you directly to pitch sessions. If they are outstanding ideas, we have enough connect in BCIC network, in our network, Young BCIC network. We've got a lot of connects. We can connect you to investors, and we can connect you to various angel agencies, and you can find your way through. Right. So there are lots of channels available. However, criteria. One thing is that there is no dearth of money, no dearth of investment available for worthy ideas. Now the catchphrase is a worthy idea. I will invest $1 only if I feel that I will get back $2, right? When I exit, let's say, 3 years hence, right? So if you can convince the investor about that, if you are serious enough, if your team is outstanding, if you have got a great technology, great product, commercially viable, etc., there are no dearth of opportunities. So with that, I will close.
It's not over.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't let go people so easily. Good ideas in a room like this. So I have with me Miss Rupa. She's the She's the Deputy Secretary of our chamber and reporting to our Secretary General, Mr. Prithvi. Now, this lady has been spearheading all the operational aspects, including communication, and then working with all the past presidents, current presidents, animals like me, and all that. So here it is. Now, she's going to spell out the number of expert committees that exist in our chamber. And you'll be surprised to know that possibly you fit into one of those expert committees. That is where your mentoring begins. And I'll tell you who the people are a little later after she finishes. But anyway, we'll 5 minutes just, that's all. There's nothing more than that. Your tea will not get cold. It will be reheated again. Now that's one. So she will spell out each of these committee names, make a note whether you fit into any of these committees, and then give the name to Ms. Richa or Ms. Rupa. You need to send out the communication as to who to contact. Just not saying that, send it to us, who. And that's the focal point that should come. Then once she finishes, then there are a couple of other things that I want to tell you how exciting it can become. Come here. So A to Z, you have committee names. And what they do is something that I'll tell you later.
Good afternoon, everyone. I feel honored to be amongst the young minds as well as the mentors who have coached them. It's really my privilege. Our chamber is, as he has already, my colleague Mr. Prithvi has already told in the morning, our chamber is 43-year-old. We do liaise with the state and the central government. BCIC is the known chamber for its knowledge repository. And we do have 17 expert committees that is led by industry captains. And we are honored that they are doing wonderful jobs and they're carrying, we have become the brand ambassadors due to their sharing of experience with us. And the first expert committee we are having is the agro and food processing. I think there is a team who have won the award in that. And the second one, we have Aerospace Expert Committee, Aerospace and Aviation. Third is the direct taxes. We have a very big forte among the government in the taxation repository. Then we have the banking, finance and corporate affairs. We have infrastructure, energy, environment and water. We have HR and Women Empowerment and Leadership Expert Committee. We have ICT and Electronics Expert Committee.
What is ICT, madam?
Information and Communication Technology. And we have Indirect Taxes Expert Committee, and we have Young BCIC, is led by Manas and Richa. That ICT and Young BCIC, it has become a synonym with Manas and Richa. And we have tourism.
Manufacturing?
We have manufacturing, and for the past 2 years, we have a new committee on Industry 4.0. We are doing amazing sessions on that, and it's a really great learning knowledge, not only for our members, even for us also. We also keep updating while working with the leaders, thought leaders, and we have tourism, hospitality, and travel, and the main pharma and healthcare is one of that, and the ease of doing business is the exclusive session, which is presently working very closely with the state and the central government. MSME. International business that was constituted newly this year.
International business, external affairs.
So there are about 18 different committees. So I want to tell you that, firstly, did you all like this session? Yes. Like this session? Yes. Did you participate in this award ceremony only for the purpose of stealing an award and showing it to your parents or to your girlfriends or boyfriends? Either way, see, I got something. Was that the purpose? No? Okay. How do you want to propagate yourself to make it bigger? You are going to do self-propagation through WhatsApp. Is that all it is going to be? Okay, so we will give you the necessary next steps in terms of propagating your achievements through our channels itself, social media channels also. That will add a certain amount of value because you are seeing a logo that has given a chapa. It is going to stand the test of time. So that's one thing. Next is we are creating a center for academic excellence, right? Where all these ideas will be furthermore chiseled, sharpened, polished, and then placed to likely suppliers or the customers or the other way they connect in terms of venture capitalists or whatever else. That is one thing that we'll try and do. Then if any of your universities or institute is not a member, are you all members of BCIC? No. So become a member. Become a member. All that it takes is only 3,000 rupees. And from this year, this month onwards, this new category has been created. Earlier, you had to pay some 15,000 rupees to start with. So 3,000 is nothing. You have 10,000 in your hand. Right? So get on with that. Then what happens is you get connected to these 18 odd different committees. These 18 committees have subcommittees and the 20 people that you can possibly market your idea. Okay? I've been a venture capitalist myself. Right? I also started when I was younger, 20 years back. And to get money, those days was much more difficult. I could not raise money. I could not raise money. I had to use my alumni network and all that. I said, oh God, and things are fine now. Bankers don't lend you money for your ideas. And if you think that the person who is possibly subscribing to your capital is doing it as charity, you're mistaken. He said that. In 1 year, I won 3 times, 2 times, 4 times, and all that. And if you fail, your motivation will go down. It is like losing a first job in the first month. Don't do that. Always give a long. See, these are all very, very educated people, senior in the industry, very well respectable, right? And if they have actually subscribed to your thoughts, it means there's something good in you. So don't let this idea go down and get it shelved somewhere. Mold this idea into becoming something better. As soon as you step out, the next thought is how to connect with him, me, him, all that thing. And then you should be very practical in terms of demonstrating what is said to come out to be true. Just spelling out something, vision statement will not do. You should mean it. You should be on the ground in terms of exhibiting. And then most importantly, all of them said one thing, which is what is the customer? Who is the customer and what does he want? Simply changing technology will not help. There are 3 investors. 4th investor, Manas also taken. He will say this technology, why don't you do something like this? So you'll change that. Next day, for the next 1 million, you'll go to him. He'll say, so how many changes, how many iterations? Finally, you'll invest it. So have conviction in whatever you have demonstrated, whatever you have proven today, and then try to latch onto this idea. Don't be headstrong. If all 3 or 4 of us say that, okay, do this kind of a small little twinkling change, then I think you should accept that. But before that, read the mindset of the customer. Because he's the one who's going to pay you money, not the investors. Investors will ask you for heaven and moon, but don't try to do that. Right? That is one thing. So the last but not the least is that BCIC is coming out with the Startup Award on January 20th, 21st, and 22nd. It is widely publicized. It started off as Emerging Stars Award in the year 2020, which is going to end now. February it started, COVID hit us, but it was widely publicized in FM and other channels. And we used the criteria of not inviting all the startups. They should have had a minimum existence of 3 years and a maximum of 7 years. So your Zomato, Swiggy, everybody's out. Other side who were just started, like you people who would start, they were all left out. So it is only those who were just ascending growth. They were not matured stage also. And we looked at those kind of companies. Close to 200 companies in Karnataka participated in a matter of 15 days. Then came the elimination round. The principal knowledge partner was Deloitte. They exhibited a different difficult criteria. By the time they could finish, the financial year was over, they started asking us for the financial reports of 1920. Now, startups do not exist possibly in the month of June. Many of them would have wound up also. That is the stage we were at. However, all these companies were brave enough to certify and provide their half-yearly balance sheet or something of 1920. And then we went through the jury round. The jury chairman was Mr. Shri K. Jayaraj IAS, Additional Chief Secretary. And there are 6 other jury members, as top class as these gentlemen and the 2 who we are missing today. And then they have come out with 19 finalists now. So it went through from 200 to about 111 to about 36, then 19, finally 19. 4 rounds of elimination. Top class companies are there. And then very similar to whatever you saw is going to be given away on 22nd of January. The chief guest is likely to be Srimati Kiran Majumdar Shah. Mr. Bhaskar Bhatt, Group Director, Tata Group. The retired Justice B.N. Sri Krishna and Mr. Uday Kotak or his partner Sri Jairam, founding member of Kotak Bank Limited. This is the last day, and on that day again, we'll have a jury panel telling us about the methodology and what they found it very difficult to evaluate, etc., etc. But the first 2 preceding days are the days that I would request you to all join and understand how these companies came about, how they're able to sustain this COVID stop, number 1, and then more importantly, how they've been able to meet the challenges of the customers and market needs. 20th and 21st, we're going to have panel discussion. We are going to have many, many simulated runs. Each of them will also possibly try to provide the thoughts to venture capitalists, founders, which is possibly one of the implants, tactical investors, strategic investors, and then he also spoke about innovation coming from Amrita, Kirby Foundation, etc., with whom we have got into a memorandum of understanding. So these are all the places that these people could possibly find an avenue with. And there are many, many interesting insights that you will possibly see. And I don't know whether you were possibly part of our all the award ceremony that has happened in our organization. We have virtually given away the mementos and trophies. I'm not too sure whether this could be done today, but then because you were able to receive it physically, and it has been hailed by even the Union Finance Minister's office, who has never received a virtual shield. They said, how did you make it? This is the question that has come. REC's Dean, Regional Engineering College, Dean has sent me a message. Can you tell me how to get this done? That's it. So simple ideas, as long as innovative and creative, will go a long way. And with that, I close my discussions. So firstly, my request is please become a member. You will not lose anything. See for yourself the benefit of your ideas coming to fruition. I'm a marketing man, so I have to market BCIC. I didn't market my company. Second is I'm also looking at how to make this venture grow into something much larger. Please be in touch. Write to Secretary or Miss Rupa, who is a coordinator, who will put you on to the expert committee chairman, and they will possibly give you a customer connect or a supplier connect, which is very important. Right? How to source a material cheaper is also one more thing which is going to add to your margins. Look at it that way. So I don't want to give too much of marketing yarn. I'll leave it with this. Thank you very much. Thank you, Soumitra Da. Thank you, Sandeep Da. And Maharaj Da, of course. Yes. And Richa. Credit goes to all the secretariat members, led by Mr. Prithvi, Mr. Sham, Ms. Rupa, Vijaya, Nandita, and everybody else. And on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce, President Parshuraman, Senior Vice President Mr. Shekhar, who is not in town, and myself, and on behalf of all my management committee members, I thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Anything from you?
We'll close now. Also, we'd like to also acknowledge the sponsor for this event, which we didn't do that. Yes.
Yeah, so thanks to our sponsor, the entire awards have been sponsored by ANZ. Thanks to Carl as well, who did not join today from New Zealand, but he was there for the award ceremony. You might have listened to him. Thanks to InfiCert, Girish is part of our team for all the certificates will be also rolled out from a platform based on blockchain to all the participants and to you people again. This was just a physical copy. Thanks to Pali, to Educon, Blue Rose Technologies, Indus Business Academy, New Horizon College of Engineering, a big round of applause for them. Helped us all the way. And anything? BTU. So this year we partnered AccelATHON with Central Placement Cell of Visvesvaraya Technological University. And we are also in working with them to deliver some of the programs on emerging technologies, and we see how do we go. So we have reached to a MOU stage. So we are trying to do a lot of such things. Anything, any sponsors did I miss? No, thank you. Skillenza was our platform partner for this year. Did a fabulous job when we planned to move to the online version. So this was originally planned in March, which was a physical event to be organized at New Horizon College, but we could not do it because of COVID, and then we moved to the online version. So that is it from us. Thanks to Manas for exemplary leadership. All of us agree to that. He is driving that behind Young BCIC. All of us as a team, we work together to make sure that we do something good. We all are volunteers working pro bono for initiatives like this, to see that small little help can make a lot of difference. So that is the idea of we working together from different industry, from different segments, entrepreneurs, people from technology, and so on. So thank you everybody.
And also we can give a round of applause for Richa.
Thank you.
Snacks outside. Before that, we'll have the national anthem.
Yes, please stand for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 जय
Thank you.
Thank you. Snacks and coffee is outside. Please. Thank you.
Good. Well done.
Thank you.